Welcome to the Run It Back podcast with Max and RJ. I'm Max. This is RJ.
I am RJ. Thank you, guys.
All right, so RJ.
Yes, we're going to get right into this.
We're getting right into it. We are
podcast.
Cutting up to 24 minutes. Usually we're hitting about 35. That is frowned upon. If you're watching, I've been working all day. I'm going on 3 hours of sleep, and I'm living purely on water and caffeine, so that is why I have successfully sweat through this shirt. Not just super excited to be here, but I am super excited to be here. It has been a great weekend. All-Star weekend, a great excuse for me to be antisocial. You didn't actually respond to my calls or texts, but you were moving, so I gave you a response.
I was moving, and I did respond to at least one when we were talking about maybe bringing some of the local guys on here. Excited. So yes, that's my proof, my evidence that I did respond to at least one text.
Our producer, Andrew, shout out to Andrew and Dominic, who make this all possible and make this a lot easier on us. Andrew actually invited both of us out on Saturday.
Yeah.
You declined because...
Because I was moving, and my entire life has been filled with just boxes and a bunch of different things, and it was not fun. I would have rather gone out, but that was not the case. Yeah.
I was at home watching the dunk contest and the three-point contest.
I think my reason's better.
I was doing my due diligence for this podcast. I watched because other people can't.
Right, right.
You're welcome, Andrew.
And yet.
I gave you material today.
Yes.
All right, well, let's just dive right into it. Let's see. The first thing, great excuse to be antisocial. Oh, NBA stream. So I streamed it on Roku, and it was interesting. For those of you who haven't been listening or watching, I recently gave up on cable, not for Lent, just because of expenses.
Yeah.
So got Roku. Shout out to Graham. Got me my Roku. It has been fantastic.
Holiday gift.
I love it. The only problem was the only way I could stream it, TNT was actually down. The only way I could stream it was through NBA. And you got to pick the camera angle, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But you couldn't hear the commentating.
Okay.
And it didn't switch camera angles. So like I was able to pick like crowd or player or action or I think the other one was backboard. It was amazing. But like I really learned it's one of those things where you don't realize what you have until you lost it. Shout out to TNT for making this camera angles great because being stuck on one for about 3 hours, a little bit frustrating.
I would imagine that is the case. But yeah, you know what? That's interesting that you were able to see that. I didn't even know that that was available. I have stuck to cable, even though I am that close to getting rid of it as well. The only reason I hold on to it is because of stuff like that, sports events, which when you're watching it on like online and you're watching it live, Twitter, you want to get the reaction.
That's true.
You know what I mean? It kind of works. Yeah, there's a few seconds off. So maybe you did not know that, what's his name? Hamidou Diallo
Hamidou Diallo. He's from Brooklyn. He was so fun to watch in college. He's an exciting player on the Thunder.
Right.
He's very talented.
So I would have seen the tweet. Yes, that's another thing. I would have been following the tweets coming in and then seeing that he won. So that's the only reason why I keep it around. Other than that, I see no reason. So I totally get where you're coming from.
Okay, so we'll switch off Roku because no one wants to hear about us complaining. But that dunk contest, until that dunk over Shaq, so terrible.
Yeah.
John Collins was awful. I appreciate how he brought in all the theatrics, but the man didn't even clear the plane. He broke the plane. For those of you who didn't watch, he brought in a paper plane and tried to jump over it. Think a much more lame version of what Blake Griffin did to the Kia, and that really wasn't even that cool. But
he like hit the edge, right? Or he hit the wing or whatever.
It broke. It was embarrassing. He didn't look good. So my question for you is, Hamidou Diallo, if he had Hamidou, I'm not sure if he's related to Sheik Diallo, but it's very possible. If he
how do you know who's related, who these Diallos are?
I mean, how many people do you know who have those unique names and the last name Diallo?
That's true. Yeah, I thought you just made that name up, Sheik Diallo. Not gonna lie,
no.
I thought you just made
that up. He was a fun player to watch at college in the NBA. Anyway.
Wow. Okay.
Not a good offensive player, but he can jump through the roof.
Okay.
So, if he had that dunk over Shaq with the elbow, kind of commemorating Vince Carter, which John Collins could have done because they're on the same team, but that's besides the point.
Right.
If he did that in other dunk contests, would he still have won?
Oh, that one?
Do you think that still would have been the best
This one, I'm watching it right now on my laptop. No, I mean, no. And that's the bad part about this.
He jumped over Shaq.
Yeah. Okay, so I get that, but I've seen guys jump over
7 feet tall, right?
But I've seen this. I've seen this where other guys have jumped over other people in the past. And
you know that he jumped over Shaq and put his whole elbow in the rim, right?
Hey, no,
Okay.
Let's put it this way. This is the only dunk I heard of the entire night that went, any sort of viral.
I can tell you several
form
of Dennis
social
Smith
media.
Jr.'s who he just didn't make.
The guy who you bet on who lost you a breakfast taco? That guy.
That guy who I bet on. Well, the problem with him was he couldn't hit it the first 3 times.
That's also part of this. I saw a lot of debate over the amount of attempts that these guys have at doing this, where it really kind of dilutes the product and brings it down because they have
that anticipation.
Right. Yeah. And if you don't get it on the first, exactly. At some point, you're just kind of like, all right. You just feel kind of like not feel kind of bad for the guy. You just want him to make the dunk. And you know that they're exerting energy after the 5th, 6th, or 7th attempt. So, yeah, that's also some stuff that I heard or saw over the weekend when it comes to slam dunk contests. But
I like how they brought out J. Cole. I thought that was really cool.
Nice.
Dennis
nice
Smith Jr. even wore his jersey. Shout out to New York. Number 15, by the way. He did the halftime performance, which, in my opinion, was actually better than the Super Bowl performance.
Oh, yeah. 10 times better.
So, you know what? I don't want to skip over the three-point contest because I had things to say because people were like, oh, who's Joe Harris? How do you not know who Joe Harris is? He's a starting shooting guard on a playoff team, a number 6, possibly even 5 seed Nets. He was on the Cavs. LeBron traded him in classic LeBron fashion.
Yeah.
And he was a good player at UVA.
Yeah.
So you should know who Joe Harris is. I did pick Steph Curry to win, and even when I was watching, I tweeted out, breaking news, Steph Curry can hit open threes. I mean, he just makes it look so effortless. But also with the three-point contest, credit to Dirk, because I was worried he wasn't going to be able to get around the whole circle in a minute. He got there with time to spare. It just showed that he can be old and still make threes.
Dirk has got that total like old man movement now where he's got to like
launches it up.
Hips. Yeah,
oh my goodness, we're already 7 minutes in. We are cruising.
All right. Yes, we are. Okay, so we both missed out on the three-point contest. I picked Damian Lillard.
I picked Steph Curry.
Okay, basically the last guy who I think got in. I think that was a story where Joe Harris
he had
was
the
last
odds.
guy to get in or whatever. He was the one who I was like, Davis Bertans should have been in instead of, but we ended up seeing he ended up winning the thing.
Won.
So nice.
But
congrats.
I actually just anchored the noon.
Virginia guy.
Not a big deal. So I gave a shout out to Davis and DeMar because I said I can make an argument that both of them should have been there before we cut to break. Because yes, we're now doing breaks. We're getting big time. Yes. We're not selling out.
All right.
But we're getting big time. Who could DeMar have replaced in the All-Star game?
Oh, in the All-Star game? Wow, I'm not even sure. I mean, Bradley Beal maybe. I don't even know.
That's a good one.
But you know what? I was fine with DeMar even not playing, even though maybe he wasn't going to be far. He needed a break. He needed a break. LaMarcus Aldridge, 11 minutes. Nice 11 minutes there, LaMarcus.
You know what? He gets the title,
gets
so
jumper.
when he retires and he goes on the jump with Rachel Nichols, shout out Rachel Nichols, he can have the title under his name, 4-time All-Star, 5-time All-Star, 7-time All-Star.
Probably play a total of 50 minutes.
Doesn't matter. He got a bucket, that's all that matters. He hit the floor and he
Yeah.
wasn't the last pick.
Wow. 8 minutes in, my God. Yeah, this is a tough.
Right. So
we're speed rounding this thing,
So sticking with All-Star Weekend for a second, shout out to Steph Curry because this went unnoticed for a large portion of the weekend until Darren Rovell tweeted it out. I noticed it. I tweeted it out too. Just saying. I just don't have as many followers.
Wow, yeah.
But Steph Curry was wearing the same jacket he wore 27 years ago when he was at the All-Star game weekend supporting his dad, Dell.
Right.
Shout
Loved
out
it.
Steph. That's so witty.
Yeah, loved it. I mean, both Currys.
Both were there.
But Steph is really kind of the golden child of anything when it comes to Charlotte. We've seen him at Carolina Panthers games. He was also going to, at one point, be like a minority owner of the Carolina Panthers.
He could one day be a minority owner of the Hornets.
True, absolutely. Yeah, they love him in Charlotte. It was really kind of a bit of his weekend.
Well, before he signed the max deal, there was speculation he could even go there, play for his hometown team.
No, I mean, he is the golden child for the city of Charlotte. So this was kind of a big way to like showcase him and to also show some love to his pops as well. Del Curry, a heck of a shooter, man, back in the day.
Oh yeah, and that was before 3-pointers were even what they are today.
Right. Yeah. So Steph, give him props, man. It's easy to hate on Steph a little bit because he does all the shimmying and he does do all the he's a little bit braggadocious.
We were just having this conversation. Guys like Steph and LeBron, they get thrown around and they get talked trash so much. But at the end of the day, they're guys who have stayed faithful to their loved ones. They have kids. They're good parents. All they do is help out their communities, and they've never gotten in trouble off the court.
Right. Yeah. No real reason to hate on him, just the fact that they win, and he does some little shimmying every now and then, which is kind of, wow, I can't believe he just did that.
So, what was I, oh yeah, so sticking with Charlotte, moving on over to San Antonio, Charlotte, All-Star Weekend, that's fine. I'm sure Charlotte is a nice place. I've never been. I've driven through. My family did road trips to Florida. Yeah. It was an adventure with 5 people in the car.
Good times.
We looked at the next All-Star Weekend, and we had Indiana, we had Chicago, love Chicago, and we had Cleveland.
Yes.
You have Cleveland and you have Indiana.
3 Midwest cities in general.
Well, I understand Chicago. Chicago is a huge market. I mean, you have the Bulls, who are not even going to be good next year, but you have the Bulls, and you have MJ, he'll probably be there. He'll probably do a cool ceremony or something.
Right.
But you have Indiana and you have Cleveland. Why don't you have San Antonio?
Because I don't think the Spurs want it. I don't think they necessarily put in an effort. I don't think they put in much of an effort to
I think the city of San Antonio wants it.
The city would love it. I mean, we had it in '96. That was at the Alamo Dome. The Spurs played in the Alamo Dome at the time before the AT&T Center.
Oh, it was '96. I thought it was '92.
No, it was '96. Yeah, the Alamo Dome was open for maybe 3 years, so still kind of a new venue. Again, the Spurs were the main tenants there, so I think it was easier for the NBA to just be like, "Hey, let's have this here where the Spurs play." So, by all accounts, a great event. There are people here at KSAT that went to it. Mario said that he covered some of it, so it's kind of
executive producer Mario.
Executive producer Mario,
listening.
Yes.
Cheers.
So he got to cover some of it. So a great time there. Now I think because the rodeo is here and because it is a big moneymaker for the AT&T Center and for the Spurs who do the rodeo in conjunction with the organizers, I don't think there's ever going to be an option where the Spurs can have it at AT&T Center.
But here's the thing.
Alamo Dome would be the place.
We just had Final Four at the Alamo Dome, and it was phenomenal. I mean, everything ran so smoothly. We worked with San Antonio Sports. Shout out San Antonio Sports. I mean, we got
a lot of shout-outs for you, man.
Because I'm trying to get my way into the All-Star game when they break it here at the Alamo Dome. But no, you're right. We went, Andrew behind the scene, who's now dropping Chipotle from his mouth. Andrew and I did some digital stuff, and you were there at the right outside AT&T Center last week. What was it? Last Wednesday, middle of the week, and it was packed on a random Wednesday afternoon. I mean, it's a huge moneymaker, but there's no reason why you can't have them concurrently. I mean, imagine all the money that it would bring in.
Well, I don't think the NBA would want that. The NBA is not going to
be their own thing.
Well, are you talking about having the All-Star game at the Alamo Dome and then having the rodeo? Yeah, separate.
I mean, that would be a huge debacle for city council.
Well, first of all, the NBA. Well, now the Alamo Dome, since it's not an NBA arena, I'm not sure what the rules are, but I think an NBA arena has to be a part of this.
Specified?
I think so. I think the last one they did was when they made a special exception for maybe when they had the All-Star game in North Texas. They had the game at the Cowboys Stadium, AT&T Stadium, but I think Mark Cuban signed off on it.
They just had the Alamo Dome for the March Madness. I'm sure they can adjust that court.
Well, I'm talking about the NBA.
No. I'm saying I'm sure the NBA can make adjustments.
Oh, the NBA, of course. I think the NBA can do anything they want to do, but the city and the Spurs, I mean, like you said, the city would want the All-Star game.
There's no reason why we should lose out to Indiana
I don't
and
think
Cleveland.
Care about having the All-Star game here.
I don't think Pop cares about it.
Well, I don't know if Pop has the final say on it, but the Spurs organization, I would imagine, would have to be a big part in any sort of All-Star weekend.
I'm going to take a hot take here.
Yeah.
I think it's Pop who's like, no, I want my players to have a rest. This gives them a week off. It lets them de-stress here at home where they get to do what they have to do. If they bring in the All-Star week, they don't get that rest.
Yeah.
No one in the organization gets the rest.
With all the
they
other
have
events.
to be there. They're hosting. They have to worry about everything.
Yeah, I don't think they want it. I mean, I think that's a pretty valid point that I don't think the Spurs want it. I don't think they want to deal with everything that comes with it. So until either we get a new arena or if something happens with the Alamo Dome where I don't know. I just think a new arena or a new facility is going to bring something like that, an attention thing where the city and the Spurs can work together.
All right, so
I don't see it happening, man.
I'm not,
sorry to break everyone.
Not optimistic. I'm thinking once Pop leaves, sorry,
Yeah.
San Antonio, he is going to leave at one point. We don't know when. But he will retire one day. I think after that, I think if you see more development around the AT&T Center.
That too. It's not in a great area.
Yeah, I think if you see a new and upcoming team, then I think that it will come back here because it is a fun weekend. I mean, not even the game, just everything around it.
Right.
Real quick, because Andrew's about to hold up the 7-minute sign. Yesterday was the 25th anniversary of David Robinson's quadruple double.
Nice.
So it
yes.
Blocks,
he was there at the game in Charlotte. Yeah.
Assists and points. I talked to you before the show. Give me 3 players who you think could get a quadruple double in today's game.
Ooh, James Harden, Giannis.
You think Harden can get 10 blocks?
I think he could get 10 steals. So I think anytime you get the quadruple double, it's got to be either the missing element in all this are the blocks or the steals.
Yeah.
So I looked up, I did some research on this. So far this season in the NBA, we've had 2 guys hit 9 blocks. Hassan Whiteside, he got 9 blocks, and Mitchell Robinson, who I had no idea. Okay, there you go. Right? Yes, the Knicks.
You got to get.
Are they going to get? Are they going to get the assists? No, probably not.
Mitchell Robinson's not going to get the points.
or there you go. So then I was like, okay, so it's got to go to steals. Right now we have Kyrie Irving, 8 steals this season.
He's not even a good
against the Heat.
Player.
But it's going to be something like that. It's going to be Harden, Irving, someone who could get the 10 steal mark. I know you don't like Russell Westbrook. Maybe you do like Russell Westbrook. I don't know. But it's going to be one of those guys who's going to have to get it.
Okay.
Because it's going to be points, rebounds, assists, and steals.
Probably I got some real quick, and then we got to go to break. Give me some randoms. Are you ready?
Randoms. Okay.
Okay.
Love
Nikola Jokic.
He could get it. Yeah.
LeBron.
Blocks or I
mean, LeBron's the easy answer.
Yeah.
And then I got one, Drew Holiday.
Drew Holiday would be a good one. Yeah, I think Drew Holiday could do it.
If AD has another minor injury, they could sit him. Drew could be playing 40 minutes a night if they're close to the playoffs. Yeah. He could get the steals. He could maybe get the blocks. I mean, he's a good defensive player. Yeah. He could easily get a triple-double, especially in today's game where you're putting up. I mean, last night's
quadruple-double.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay,
yeah.
That's a triple?
Triple-double.
Yeah, he could easily get a quadruple-double. I mean, look at last night's All-Star game.
Yeah.
We've seen regular season games hit those numbers.
Right. So I think it would have to be somewhere along those lines, a guard or some sort of a wing player. Remember, Tim Duncan almost did it in the NBA Finals.
Is it 13?
I think it was the 03. No, the 03 NBA Finals playing against the Nets.
He got close in 13 because I remember being like, oh, Andrew's yelling.
Yeah.
He got close in 2013. All right, we're going to be right back, and we're going to be talking shoes, breakfast bets, and AAF. Okay, so All-Star Weekend, it's obviously big for basketball, but it's also big for brands.
Of course, yeah. And I know where you're going with this.
Our own Kawhi Leonard coming down hot with
Kawhi Leonard. Yeah.
New Balance releasing their new brand ambassador, Kawhi Leonard. He showed off some of his apparel last week. They did teases throughout the week, and then finally yesterday they released looks at the new shoe.
Yeah.
I tweeted it out. What were your thoughts?
I thought they were not bad. I will say this, they were pretty good. They look good. I think the biggest thing that the Kawhi Leonard thing had, which I saw make its way through social media, were the Times New Roman font on the back, which apparently is part of the New Balance. That's the way that New Balance would do all their ads back in the day. I don't know. I thought it was a little weird to see that.
I like that in regards to Kawhi because it's so bland.
Exactly,
and it's
but
so
I thought
boring.
it was
and if you're writing like a
criticism.
200-page term paper, you're using Times New Roman.
Wow,
That's Kawhi Leonard. He's going to put in the work. He's going to be
I don't see Kawhi writing any 200-page papers anytime soon.
Well, maybe his uncle will write it for him.
That might happen, yeah.
But the only thing I didn't like about it was the New Balance strap that goes over. But that's the new style in shoes.
Yeah.
I mean, I like them because they're high tops. I need ankle support because I hurt my ankles all the time. But I like them. I mean, I don't think I'm going to go out and get them just yet.
Right.
I like how they have the KL2?
The KL2.
I don't know if legally they were allowed to say K2 because there was a whole drug thing for a while.
Okay.
So KL2.
Yeah.
But I mean, I like them overall. They're they're close enough to bland where you're like, okay, That's not bad.
Yeah.
But they're not that far where like this looks like a dad's shoe that I'd mow my lawn in.
Right.
Shout out to my dad because he had a really old
some New Balances?
white. He had the old white New Balances that I would wear when I'd mow the lawn.
Yeah.
They'd be bright green by the time I was done.
Yeah, again, not the worst shoes ever. When the initial campaign ad or whatever came out on Twitter, I think a lot of people were skeptical about what it was going to look like, and not the worst. Again, the Times New Roman.
But the thing is, all right. So here's my thing. Yeah. In San Antonio, there's no brand like this. I mean, there's no player really with a brand.
Yeah.
This would have been great if he was here and got his own shoe when he was here.
Right.
You go to the gyms and you see guys wearing Steph Curry's. You see people wearing Spurs apparel, but you see the Steph Curry's, you see the KD's, you see the LeBrons. I have a pair of Kyrie's. You see the PG's. Yeah. No one has these yet.
Right.
But if he would have stayed, this would have been better for his brand in San Antonio because it is its own niche. It's its own little market where everyone is in love with you. You're the face of a franchise that is historically fantastic. The city's in love with you. You screwed up by leaving. Toronto's not going to go buy your shoe because they know you're going to leave. You're going to go to LA where you're going to be battling LeBron. Kyrie could go there. AD could go there. Kevin Durant could go there. Those are three, and you have Curry right up the corner. 4, 5. That's 5 huge brand ambassadors that you're gonna have to compete with.
Yeah, which is what makes the weirdest sense about all this is that Kawhi Leonard. I mean, he could have been, like you said, a star here. There was no issue for him to build his brand here. I don't know why that all went down the way it did, but yeah, absolutely, he could have done monster numbers here, especially if he did decide to go with this New Balance deal. Just a weird thing. I mean, we're going back to Uncle Dennis with all that stuff. But yeah, you're right. I mean, he's battling now with everyone else in every big market. So Kawhi, good luck to you, man. See how these shoes sell.
You're a lot more mature than I. All right, let's take a turn to the AAF. It is game 2 for the Commanders yesterday.
Yes.
It was a barn burner. I was actually, shout out to the AAF. I tweeted it out. If you follow me on Twitter, I reference my tweets all the time because they're basically just blurbs. I tweeted out
Max's thoughts.
Yeah, Max's
Deep
thoughts
with Max Massey.
I stay away from politics because I can be controversial and I'd rather not. So yesterday was a barn burner, and I had one final tweet that read, "Bad loss for the Commanders, but selfishly, I'm really killing the AAF app game."
Yeah.
Because you get to pick the plays.
Yeah.
And when a team is up with 2 minutes left, you know they're going to run the ball.
Right.
And you're probably going to run up the middle to stay in bounds. So I was just run up the middle, first down. Just racking up the points.
Who are you competing with there?
I don't know.
Is it yourself?
The percentages. I don't know. But I moved up like 4 levels in 1 quarter.
Oh, nice. Okay, good.
I figured it out. Because the first game I couldn't figure out how to play. I just don't think it was working inside the stadium. And yesterday I was at home and I was watching. Not only first off, shout out to Alliance because streaming on your phone is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I had better luck on my phone than I did my laptop.
Yeah, that's what the founder of it, Charlie Ebersol, said, is that their streaming technology is pretty advanced.
It's amazing.
They're literally like 2 seconds behind the action, so it is really like a real-time thing. Again, great crowd there, 29,000, 176. By all accounts, the vendor lines were good to go this time around. No major issues there. And yeah, just unfortunately a loss. And now they hit the road for 4 straight games.
4 straight weeks.
4 straight games, and we're not going to see them again until March the 23rd. Weird scheduling quirk. I'm going to say this about the Alliance right now. San Antonio needs to be the preeminent franchise here because we've now seen 2 games, proof that people are going to come out to games. And if you're looking at any other Alliance games, very sparse crowds. Not that many crowds, 15,000 maybe.
I mean,
so they need to focus on San
intense.
Antonio. Yeah, they need to focus on
Listen, people here love football. We're in Texas. When I went, it was phenomenal. Everyone was in the highs and the lows of the crowd. Give me 3 takeaways before Andrew has a conniption yelling at us.
Andrew is done eating his Chipotle, and now he's giving
Andrew
us the rap
keeping us stuck in the time. We're trying to keep it under.
3 takeaways. Okay, again, great crowd. Disappointed with the defense. I thought that they were very heralded coming out of that first game, and the old ball coach, man, Steve Spurrier, got him a little bit. Yeah. So really a lot of fun to see it kind of go back and forth. I like the football that we're seeing. I mean, the offenses are now starting to catch up a little bit, so I like it.
Okay. Love big man touchdowns, a little fumble action, loved it. Big plays on the Apollos, that was great. And apparently Steve Spurrier is calling Tim Tebow relentlessly, trying to get him to join the league. So that's cool.
That would be incredible if that were to happen. Don't know if it will.
It will not.
Yeah.
He is still playing for
But
the Mets.
Jamarcus Russell signed with the Memphis Express.
Didn't know that.
Yes,
wow,
Jamarcus
biggest
Russell.
bust in NFL history. Great. All right, we have less than 30 seconds, so breakfast bet. What do you got going on this week?
Breakfast bet. Wow, what do we have
We're
happening?
tired right now.
Yeah, are we going to do another podcast before the Toronto
I
Spurs
don't think
game?
so. I was thinking about that,
Yeah.
but what's your prediction for that game?
Ooh, prediction for that game. You know what? I'm going to say the Spurs win that game, and I'm going to say DeMar DeRozan drops over 30. I think he's going to be focused on this. Laser focused,
I'll bet
DeMar.
you 2 breakfast tacos.
Wow, you're doubling up on me, man. All right, that it's not going to happen?
No, that the Spurs are going to lose.
Okay, cool. Let's do it. Yeah,
Done.
just a win-loss. Sweet.
All right.
Cool.
Andrew's
Like it.
literally waving his arms around. Thank you so much for listening. And if you're watching, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe, rate, and anything else you want to plug before Andrew yells at us?
No, we're going to have this on the website as well, KSAT.com, so you can check it out there as well. Thank you to everyone who's subscribed, who's listened. Follow me at KSAT RJ.
Max Massey TV.
Cool.
Thank you so much.
Bye.